I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, Dr. Jim Foster. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. It's great to see you, Kim.
It's such a great pleasure to see you as well. And if any of you are in the North Carolina and surrounding areas where I'm located, you know there's like a big electrical storm happening. So I'm asking that ask God to allow everyone to be safe during these times, no matter where you're located. And I know many of you are tuning in from around the country. So I am excited to say today is Juneteenth, and we are celebrating all over the world Juneteenth this year. And so many people often ask, well, what is Juneteenth? I want to make sure that I read it to you and let you know why this National Independence Day is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. And so it's now a national holiday deriving from the name combining June and 19th is why it's called Juneteenth. And Major General Gordon Granger proclaimed freedom for enslaved people in Texas on June 19th, 1865. And so now we have this as our president, Joe Biden, signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law. So again, happy Juneteenth Day to everyone. How do you feel about that over there, Dr. Jim?
It is beautiful.
Isn't
It,
it?
it is absolutely great. And, just to think that here we are now, we have the opportunity of, as an important an event and a culture that is gaining the recognition that is so deserving of it, that we've been
Yeah.
denied for such a long, long time.
Absolutely. And so I'm honored to celebrate it as well. I've sent literature to my children and wanted to make sure everybody's fully aware because we celebrate a lot of things. So I'm excited to celebrate this occasion as well today. And today we have with us a coach that's going to help us with our business. He's going to help us be able to know how to start a business and be able to be successful in our business on endeavors, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So I'm looking forward to this. Jim is a successful retired $1 million insurance producer who now trains and coaches individuals to start their own businesses and mentor entrepreneurs success and growth. Now, when he's talking from his perspective, it's going to be universal. So you'll be able to learn no matter what type of business you have, how to be successful, right?
Yes, because there are certain fundamentals that I've learned over of my lifetime that fundamentals never change. You can vary various aspects of it, but the basic framework remains unchanged. So it doesn't matter whether you're in America, England, Africa, China, or wherever. Those are fundamentals that we're going to be talking about.
That's good. And so grab your notepads. I know I have a friend that's also a talk show host. She says money makers are note takers. So make sure that you take some notes on today's episode and also share the broadcast. If you have questions, put your questions in the comment section and Dr. Jim Foster may take a moment to answer them for us right during this hour. Okay. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to learn some of the fundamentals of starting your own business. We'll be right back.
My father had four of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work, work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Yes, definitely let attorney Charles Everidge and Hunter Everidge Law Firm help you if you're dealing with disability, if you're dealing with any type of wrongful death of a loved one or workers' compensation. Give them a call at 704-251-2945 and let them know the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. So, Coach Jim, talk to us about some of the fundamentals of starting a business.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the first things that one has to consider is why their why. Why are they going in business? Why do you want to go in business? And when you have that why established clearly, then that sets the foundation for just about everything else that you have to go, because that why is going to provide the motivation, it provides the drive, it provides that oomph, that force that keeps you going when all the obstacles hit you. And believe me, there are obstacles that's going to hit you. There are going to be times when you say, why am I doing this?
That's good. That's good.
So that is the number one thing that is so very critical and so very important.
So understanding your why is, so when you think about what made you actually start having an interest in helping other people do business from scratch type of thing. And you're the business doctor is what I'm actually being told. So you're the business doctor. There are all kinds of doctors. I'm the balance doctor. So there are the MDs, the PhDs, and then for me, I'm the BD. So I'm the balance doctor, and you're the BD, but you're the business doctor, right?
Absolutely.
So we're putting another category on end of our names here. But what was your why when you started in this field?
That's interesting. And I'm glad you asked because it gives me an opportunity to share a little bit of my story.
Yeah.
And your story is really your driving force. That's your motivator. And as I became an entrepreneur because even though I was trained as an engineer, I had got a nice job out of college with with a global company. But 3 months in, I realized that this cubicle, this box is really not for me.
Right.
And things happened, like I got passed over for a quick promotion in favor of the son of the boss's best friend, and that didn't set well with me. And while I was having these kind of thoughts, I saw a young man about my age come on to the company that day, and he went inside to do business. But what struck me about him was that he was about my age. I was about 21 at the time, but he was driving a brand new car. The guy was so nicely dressed, suited, Samsonite
Right.
briefcase and everything. And, that's kind of unusual in that part of the country at that time. So I had to find out who he was and what did he do, because that's what I like.
Right.
So I went down and I waited for him and I peppered him with questions and I came away with two thoughts stuck in the back of my head. Number one, he was in marketing,
Okay.
so he had full control of his own time and his time and setting his own appointments and stuff like that. But the second thing that stuck was that how he got paid. He got paid on commissions, so he never had to go ask for a raise. And I said, that's what I want.
So
I was
getting paid on commission, and he was nicely dressed and driving a nice car. That kind of piqued your interest.
Yes, he made his own decision. He was basically his own boss. So I went home and I told my parents that, hey, I'm leaving that job and I'm heading for the big city. And I want to be a top notch salesperson because I want to make a lot of money. I want to influence people. And so that's what I did. And as I did that, I had a vision. And the vision was of me um, walking down King Street, the main street, and just a vision of that young man. I was nicely dressed with my Samsonite briefcase, and I was calling on merchants, and I was conducting big deals. And that it took me. So when I said your why, what happened was not what I expected at first. That didn't happen. But
Right.
eventually, as a matter of fact, the first thing that happened was I ended up with a contract to sell life insurance in the projects, in the desert, to basically poor people.
Right. Right.
That was tough. It was a tough deal. But two things happened from that experience. Number one, it sharpened my why because I developed a passion for working with people, especially those who had less privileges.
That's good.
And
Okay.
and number two, um, that experience actually caused me to create other changes and shot me to the top of the life insurance industry
That's
in Jamaica. So I became a member of the $1 Million Life Insurance Roundtable, which was an honor shared by only about 3% of the world's life insurance population.
that now that why really sprung forward. It catapulted you to your true destiny. And you say you're from Jamaica. Is that where you are?
Well, yes, I was born and raised in Jamaica.
Well, I'm looking forward to going to Jamaica. I've never been to Jamaica.
Oh,
I've
you
been to the
have? Oh, you,
Bahamas. I've been to Hawaii. I've been a bunch of places, but not
well,
Jamaica.
they say you reserve the best for last.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I look forward to that. So you have family still there too?
Yes, I still have some family there, but I've been living in the United States for almost over 40 years.
Okay. Yeah, you're
And,
one
and
of
and
us.
that's another story that is a part of my experience and my driver. You see, because even though I made it to the top of the industry and life was good, I was living my dream life. But, and this is what I share with entrepreneurs, you have to be prepared for the unexpected because all of a sudden
Yeah.
things just changed. We had a political upheaval, and most business people were leaving the island.
Mm.
And I was one of them. And I left and I landed in America with $50 in my pocket to start life all over again.
And you know you're saying that calmly, like we I left with $50 in my pocket and had to start all over again. But there are people that experience that, and it takes such a tremendous toll that it's hard to rebound from that. So with you doing it, that's a special skill, in my opinion, or a gift from God. I don't know what it is. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it's good to know that I can talk about it calmly now, but I promise you, at the time, but what you do find, and I attribute most of this in my life to my upbringing, because I grew up with five brothers and a sister, and we were in our community. We were considered rich, even though based on the way that things were going, we were really poor, but we didn't know it.
That same here. I didn't know I was really poor. I grew up in the projects and had no idea that I was really poor until I got older. I'm like, oh, I was poor because it was such a community and love, and
Yeah,
everybody was together and helping each other, gave each other what we needed, whether it was sugar or butter or whatever it is that we felt we needed from our neighbors. We got it. But we were poor and I didn't realize
yeah, truly, it was a community and the sacrifice of my parents. But going up in that environment, as a matter of fact, I just realized as I was writing a post the other day and I was looking back over my life, and I have been an entrepreneur all my life, 50
so
years.
never a traditional job.
Someone asked me that question, and I had to think back, and I think there were two times when I ever got a W-2. That first time, and now when I first came to the US,
Oh,
and ironically, after about a couple of years, it's not it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. But
right.
I got fired from that job. First and only time I've ever been fired in my life.
It's like, get out of here. You want to be an entrepreneur. You're doing doing too much. That's probably why I can't get a lot of jobs. Because anyway, I've always been offered any job that I apply for on the spot. But lately, I'm
Yeah.
like, with this whole entrepreneurial journey, people are probably like, girl, I can see your page and you're doing the most. You're an entrepreneur. You're not a job person. Yeah.
So I realized that I have the DNA, the entrepreneurial DNA is in me. And I got it from my parents. I didn't think about all these things until when I was really looking back.
Okay.
My father was a stonemason contractor with his father, and I realized that they got the contract to build. Down Main Street, you always have this clock tower, and in the square. In our town of Chapelton, is such a tower in
Okay.
downtown, and he and his father actually got the contract to do the mason work on it. And I thought about that. I said, my dad, he was an entrepreneur.
Yes, he
And I
was.
thought about my mother. My mother never had a job. My mother was a seamstress. She made dresses for the people in the community. So here I am, the product of two entrepreneurs, although we didn't know it and brand it in that fashion at that time.
Right.
So truly, the chick doesn't fly far from the block.
So when you're thinking of starting a business, you say it's so important to have a why. Your why was earth shattering because you literally had to also uproot yourself and move and transfer your whole life to a new country. So I mean, it's a big deal. That's
Mhm.
not necessarily everyone else's why per se, but just establishing that why. How do people determine their why? Do you have any advice on that? Because sometimes I don't think when I've heard people say, "What is your why?" People don't always know how to even determine what their why is. Any
Yeah.
suggestions on how they can do that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And actually, that is the second piece. That's the second fundamental in understanding your why and how to determine your why. It begins with take it with self introspection, looking at yourself and asking yourself questions and such as, what am I good at?
Mm.
What do
And
I
somebody
love
type
to
that.
do?
Type that in the comments section. These are questions you should ask yourself when you're trying to determine your why. Somebody
Yeah.
type in the comments. What am I good at?
What am I good at? What do I love doing? What am I so passionate about that even if I was not getting paid, I would do it and I would have fun doing it? Now, once you can identify that, the next part of it is to put some meat on that bone. How can I turn this into something that I can get paid for? So the question that you ask at that time is, um, who has a problem that I can solve with this idea that I have?
Mhm.
And when you identify that, now the next thing you've got to determine is, hmm, will they pay me for it? Is there a need for it? How much can I be paid for it? Is there a space in the marketplace where I can I can fit myself?
That's good.
And is this something that is going to be expanding, or is it something that is just short lived? It's going to be gone because it's in a disappearing um, part of the market.
I
So,
love it. I love what you're saying.
so that kind of self assessment is a part of the beginning in determining your product, identifying the product that you can produce or the service that is in alignment with who you are. That's when you do the best of work.
Mm.
When you're doing something that you love, and at the same time it is providing value and benefit to someone that they will pay for it.
I love that. And part of my why is, and tell me if I'm correct. Can you have multiple whys?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I have a couple of whys, but that's interesting to know that it is okay to have a multiple whys.
But what I would say about that, and that leads to the third fundamental, is clarity. Clarity. Clarity of
Clarity.
your why, clarity of the idea, your product, or your service. But now, if you have multiple whys or multiple things that you're good at and you're not sure, then I have a very simple exercise to identify the number one resource.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Of course, but we're gonna take a commercial break because you gotta take that cliffhanger and be like, do you all want to know how to be able to identify one why versus being all over the place? When we come back from this commercial break from Confidence Tones, we're gonna learn from Coach Jim Foster how to drill it down. We'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
All right, everyone. That's Confidence Tones is our episode sponsor today. And I want you to make sure you reach out to Dr. Joe D. Bear, America's top health coach. If you would like to learn more about Confidence Tones, you can reach her at 800-820-0584, or you can visit drjod.com or confidencetones.com. All right. So give us this exercise. Coach Jim, I'm going to put you front and center over here so we can all lean in on what you're saying here. Let's see.
Okay, it's really very simple. So I want you to be sitting and place both your hands on both your legs, your thigh.
Okay, everyone do this at home. This is something we do want you to do at home. Okay, both legs on the ground, hands on your legs.
Close your eyes. And I want you to create an image of yourself at the absolutely best point in your life, when everything that you've lived for is happening. You are at the best point. You're living good. You're enjoying life. You're always feeling good. Picture yourself in that moment. Hold that vision. And hold that vision for a moment. Bask in it. Delve into it. And allow it to sink into your psyche. Keep that vision right there. This is you at the very best point in your life. Now, when that is sunk in and it is left an imprint on your unconscious, your subconscious mind, now retrace your steps as if you're walking backwards from that point. And I want you to keep on retracing your steps, going backward, looking back to see all the things that you did to get to where you wanted to be, where you are now in your mind. Make a mental note of all the steps that you took, the things that you did, the people that you interacted with, and document them. Keep them there. Stay some time in that moment so that that vision can be emblazoned on your mind and never leave you. And when you get out of that, you can open your eyes now. And now you grab your notes, which you should have at your side. If I didn't tell you that, but you should.
Yeah, I have mine. I'm ready.
Yes. Write down what you saw as you were backtracking. Where did you go? Who were you connected with? What were you doing? So the purpose of this is to identify the steps that will get you to your ideal task or project. And the one thing that I omitted to have mentioned is, while you were in that vision, is to watch which one of the pictures that you saw that brought a big smile on your face. So subconsciously, that smile just came on.
Oh, can I tell you what one of the things was? And I mean, I had a lot of thoughts and I wrote them down here. But one of the thoughts was that I thought about the fact that I was so happy because I was a grandmom and I was like just ecstatic. All of my children were together. Some had kids, some didn't. It wasn't that everybody had children, but it was like wow, we were just all together celebrating. I don't even know what we were celebrating, but we were just celebrating. I was definitely married, and I'm super excited about that. And life was just wonderful. I was in this place that I was happy and content. I don't even know how beautiful the home was or anything like that, but just the fact that I was with my family, and that was so important to me, because family is very important to me, and love.
Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Uh, uh, how close, have you been to that vision?
How close have I been to that vision? Well, you know what? We have, like, for us, we have family meetings weekly and just
Mhm.
talk over some things that we're doing as a family unit to try to help each other with resources that maybe the other one didn't have access to. So we're always communicating.
Mhm.
This was a different level of communication because I was at a different place and had additional people that were now entrusted to me by God. All of that I learned just from my vision that you just shared with me, kind of. So, how close am I to that? I don't know because I don't have any grandkids right now. So I don't. I might be next year. Might be 6 years from now. I don't know, but it'll happen.
But isn't it amazing? You see, when you interact, I mean, for example, this session right now create thoughts in your mind that would not have been there if we were not together in this conversation.
That's so true. Yes. Everybody else, if you did the exercise too, type what you saw in your vision and we'll pop it on the screen. And let me also put this link here in case anybody wants to come on and share what you saw in your vision. You're welcome to cut and paste that into the browser and it'll bring you into the broadcast. Okay. Wow. I do a mental exercise with people, Coach Jim, and
Mhm.
just take them away on a mental vacation. One time I was in my backyard and I said, "Hey, everybody, I'm in Hawaii." And people, were like thinking I was really in Hawaii, right? But I was really in my backyard on a mental vacation.
Yes, yes. You see, what you think about comes about. So
That's
it
right.
begins in the mind. And and if I should interject with another very important fundamental right here and now, as we're talking
Yes.
about the mind, it is the mindset. The adopting the mindset of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You see, you cannot be an entrepreneur with an employee mindset. They are different. They are night and day. The
And how so?
entrepreneur.
Please clarify.
Okay, yes. See, the objective, the primary objective of each of the employee is so diverse and different from the entrepreneur. The employee is concerned about security. That's their number one concern, getting
Hmm.
that paycheck at the end of the week. So what do? They will sell their time. And when you sell your time, then you've given up control of your time in
Interesting.
exchange for that paycheck, in exchange for that security, in exchange for that health insurance that you're going to get, for the 2 week vacation, and all of those. The mindset of the entrepreneur is now, well, it's not that they don't care about those things, but they care about their freedom.
Right.
Number one is the ability to do things what they want, when they want, because they want to do it and not having to ask someone, can I do this? Can I go to my grandmother's funeral? Can I take some time off because I got to go to this event I want to go to? Can I take some time off to go
Wow.
see my kid in their ballet performance or little league? So that's the difference.
That's
And
good.
so adopting that mindset now, they are prepared for what comes along with that territory. It's
Yeah.
risky. You have to take a risk. You have to be prepared for various eventualities. It's not going to be clear, smooth sailing all the time,
That's right.
but you have to be prepared to face whatever comes and deal with it and handle it. And it is the mindset that allows you, having that kind of mindset that allows you to attain the success that you crave. You have to
That's
go for it.
That's really good advice. So I want to go to Mackenzie, if you would take me to some of the virtual studio audience comments that's been coming in, and let's see if we can talk to some of them. And also remember to write down what you saw during the exercise that he had us go through. Oh, my mom is on. She said, good morning. Ella is definitely watching. Hey, mom.
Hi, hi, Mom.
Who else is on too? Let's see any other comments that came in. We're talking right now, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Coach Jim, known as the Business Doctor, and he is dropping some significant tips on how we can be established as business owners. And he officially is one that has been a millions of dollar insurance producer, and he's been very successful in his endeavors. So we're happy to have him here today. Kimberly Fallis says, hey, good morning to you, Dr. Jim, Coach Jim.
Good morning, Kimberly. What question can I answer for you?
Yes, please put any questions you all have or any comments. He's here to talk to us and share this information with us, and he wants to help your personal business be successful. If you change your mind, you can change your life. Mindset is everything. Any thoughts on that, Dr. Jim?
Absolutely. As we said, the mindset is what, as Henry Ford says, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, either ways, you
You're
are
right.
right.
It's
So
up to you.
it is the body, the physical follows the mental. So when you're starting your business, you've got to there. I have one of my posts deals with the six, what I call the six common threads of business. And I developed that up when I was in one of my valley moments, and those valley moments will come. We can have that conversation.
Oh yeah,
But
Valley moment.
actually, I was asked to give a speech on my journey as an immigrant seeking the American dream. And as I retrace my life, I look back and I realize that there were these six things that I noticed that run through the vein of every successful person, business person. And then I realized that, wait a minute, these were the exact things that I was doing. Even though I didn't have the labor for it. Let me tell you what they are. First one, I mentioned before, is a dream. It all begins with a dream, having that dream. The second thing is turning that dream into vision. So you create the vision of what you see in your dream. By the way, that's why always it is recommended that you go to sleep with a notepad and pen on your
I do
nightstand.
that. I thought I was just on an island by myself, but
No,
I keep my stuff right there so that I could officially wake up in the middle of the night, and when God is putting a deposit into my spirit, I can capture it. Sometimes I'm writing and it's all sideways, and I
yes,
wrote on top of the other wording because I'm in the dark. And I'm like, I don't care as long as I get it out of my head, you know?
yes. You're exactly right because that is a reason for it. That dream comes into to you, and that's all in your subconscious. Now you want to bring it into your conscious.
Right.
Most times when you wake up, it's gone, it's forgotten. So writing it down. So having that vision, and the third thing is to make that commitment. Making a commitment, and I remember when I walked off my engineering job, I made a commitment to myself, and I've lived true to it since. And it was this: I never want to be in a position where my advancement and my progress depends on whether my boss likes me or not. It
That's
has to
good.
be on my own steam, on my own fuel. I have to be the driver of it, and that has kept me.
That's good.
And so making that commitment and remembering what a commitment is. A commitment is that sacred promise that you make to yourself that you're going to do whatever it is in good times, bad times, or in between times.
And
So,
I know you're going to say 6 points, but I need to stop there for a minute, because when people make a commitment to themselves, and I know I can only speak personally, there are times that I've made a commitment that no matter what, no matter how it goes, this is what I'm committed to. But then when times get more challenging, then it's like the commitment, it's not that the commitment wavers per se, but it's just like you have to be open-minded to doing some other things or doing things differently to get a different result. Can you speak about that for a minute before we go to number 4?
Yeah, yes, and this is the beauty of it when you have clarity, and you're in control of yourself and of your thoughts. So yes, you do have sometimes to deviate in order to go forward. But the important thing is to keep that commitment, that ultimate end point in mind. And I give you an example of this. When I
Please.
was at one time, I was a young man then. I was growing up, and I was visiting my mother's parents who lived up in the mountains. And as I drove up, uh, the week before that, there was a thunderstorm,
Mm.
pretty much like what you're
Oh
experiencing.
yeah. Well, thank goodness it's passing over, I believe, because we're
Yes,
we're still connected.
well, the difference is that this was up in the countryside in the mountains, and with that rain, the road, which was a dirt road and already very narrow, and it was on the side of the hill, and
Mhm.
half of that road had it washed away in the storm.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Now here I am, and I can't go back. No way I can go back,
Mm-mm.
and I have only half of the road in front of me. I was committed, and I knew that I had to get through one way or the other.
Right.
So here I am, creeping along, two wheels of my Dodge Dart and one edge of the precipice. The other two is up on the side of the mountain, the hillside. And as I'm leaning over, I couldn't help but, which I shouldn't do, but peeking down there and seeing that big old oak tree that was the size of a shrub.
Right.
Well, my divine master was with me, so and I'm still here. So obviously I got through.
You got through.
And the principle, what my takeaway from that, and I've reflected on it many times in my life, is the fact that when an obstacle presents itself, your determination is to get through it one way or the other. And there are four courses of action you can take.
Right.
One is that you can push it out of the way. And if you can't, then you go around it.
Hmm.
And if that is not feasible, you go over it. And if that still doesn't work, then you go under it.
That's right.
You've got to get through. Why? Because on the backside of that obstacle is where the great opportunity lies. That obstacle is simply a divider to separate the winners from, to determine, do you have it? Can you handle the big thing that is in front of you? Can you handle the breakthrough?
That's good.
That's why even in the Bible, Jesus says that if you're faithful in what is least, then that entitles you to getting more.
That's right.
So when you keep your commitment, it's not a question of whether you're going to do it or not, there's no condition to it. It's not, well, if things are right, if it works out. It is, that's what you are going to do. And you
That's right.
set out to do it, and you have that mindset. You set out so that nothing is going to stop you. And when you do that, then doors open up to you so you can push through and get through.
I love it. And so go over, go under, go around, go through, but never, ever, ever give up. Y'all make sure we know that quote like the back of our hands and embrace it, that we have all kinds of options, but giving up is not one of them. So I love that. And also who we think we are, that's exactly who we are. Whether we
Yeah,
think we can or we think we can't, as a man thinketh, so is he. So, or so is she. We want to remember that. Yeah. Some
and
good
that
stuff
all
you
fits
teaching.
in. That all fits in him with the concept. I don't know if you know the story of 3 feet from gold, quitting 3 feet from gold.
No, I don't know that. Tell me.
Well, one of the things that I grew up on was winners never quit, quitters never win.
Right.
So you always want to keep persevering and persisting. There was and it actually happened. There was a gentleman, I don't remember his name now, but I think in Philadelphia, back in the gold rush days, and he decided to go west
Okay.
to pan for gold. And he was fortunate. he struck a rich vein of gold. So he realized what he had, but he did not have the necessary tool and equipment to mine that gold. So he secured it, went back to Philadelphia, met with some of his colleagues and friends, got the funding that he needed to buy the equipment that it was necessary to mine the gold. And sure enough, it struck, it kept delivering. He was able to pay off his friends back, and just at the point when he was now really ready to get back and sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor, everything stopped.
Mm.
Vein stopped producing no gold, nothing, nothing. Well, he did around with it for a while, trying to find out what happened and trying to pick it up. And after a while, he got frustrated, fed up, and decided that he's gonna sell out all the equipment, head back to Philadelphia. And I don't know what happened to him after that, but the gentleman that bought the equipment for little or no sense um, decided, well, I don't know anything about mining and all of that type of stuff.
Right.
So he went and he found a geologist, someone who knew his craft. And the geologist was able to tell him that they what happened that cut it off was that the mine hit a fault line. And you know, the fault is that plate in the earth where the plate shifts.
Right.
And it picked up 3 feet from where it had stopped. So that's where that gentleman went in and started mining, and that produced the biggest mine field in California.
That is unbelievable. No, I never heard that. I never heard that story before. So I learned something today. You schooled me.
And you can look it up. Anyone can look it up by just googling 3 feet from gold. And
3 feet from gold. Look
3
that
feet from
story
gold.
up, but we heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs Show from Coach Jim Foster. So I know you have three more tips that you're going to share with us as well, but I need to take a quick commercial break. And Mackenzie, I'm going to play this one. I hadn't told you about it, but it's actually from getinsured.solutions, and I'm going to pop that on the screen now. So stay right there. All right, everyone. That's getinsured.solutions. If you're looking for end of life, final life expense insurance, you definitely want to reach out to Samantha Benson. She'll be able to help you walk you through that process. 704-499-3616, and let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you her way. All right, so share with us tip number 4.
Tip number 4, absolutely. Tip number 4 centers around your knowledge, skill, experience. We talk about building your business within your passion, but along with that goes with building with something that you know. It's
Okay,
it's a wise thing to build your business around something that you're familiar with. So you have the experience, the knowledge, the
that's good.
training, the skills. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because those are some of the fundamentals that you need. So it has to be within that arena of where your skill lies.
That's
Then,
good. So
then
to give an example, for example, some skill sets that I have is balancing life, because people know that I have a child that transitioned from this earth. People know that I'm a mom of 5 children. and 3 of them live and kick cystic fibrosis in the head. And so they know these things about me and been in ministry and all of these different hats that I wear. So people ask advice about things pertaining to life balance related issues.
Yes.
So hence the balance doctor. But
Yes.
then people also know that I've done a talk show. I've had it on PBS, the Word Network, been the balance expert on one of the local NBC stations, filmed at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio and all of that. So I've been training people how to start their own talk shows from scratch. That's a whole skill set.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's an example, right?
Yes. Perfect example. Those are what you know, and that is why you are able to do this podcast so effectively, because we can see the benefit of your experience, your knowledge, your skill, you're skilled at it. So you have a better opportunity of of succeeding and rising to the top of it. I say it's all about the experience. And of course, there's something they say about experience. We all learn from experience, we
Yes.
benefit from experience. But here's the thing, it doesn't necessarily always have to be your own experience.
That's why I have Coach Jim. That's the rest of the example. That's why I'm not the expert at everything. So who do I bring on as the expert of starting a business and working from the fundamentals of getting to that $1 million earning status? Coach Jim, the business doctor, not Kim, the balance doctor. You.
What as one doctor to another. But so if number step number 5, or the fifth common thread, is once you have identified those things and have them in place, now it is time to put a plan together. So that's where you begin now to develop your business plan.
Okay.
And the business plan has to be written. It's a written business plan. I'll tell you a story about that. And
Yes.
that is why I'm doing what I'm doing now as a business coach. In my insurance practice, I had contractors, for example, coming to me for insurance. And they're always, some of them always in a hurry. My question is, why? What's the hurry?
Right.
And the answer was always one or two things. Well, you see, I'm negotiating this contract, and they say I need to bring my insurance, and I don't have any. Or I got the contract, completed the work, and I'm supposed to get paid for my with my check on Friday. And they want me to bring my insurance, and I don't have
So they
that.
like, look, Coach Jim, we need you to come through urgently. I don't need all of this tutorial stuff for the future. I need you to give me some insurance now.
Yes, yeah, and I could tell more stories about that, but for time,
But you made
um,
it happen though, because you were $1 million earner. So some kind of way you came through.
yes, I did. Yes, I did. It had some downsides too, because I tell you that on one occasion, I still remember that a young man actually ended up in jail because he took one of the certificates that I had presented him from previously, and he basically modified it and presented it. And the company was they were hip to that type of stuff. So I had to go through the process saying, "Hey, I didn't do that."
Yeah.
And um, so, but the point about it is that that was the experience I was having with these individuals who were great craftsmen. They were good at what they did. But
Yes.
when it comes to putting that on a business platform so that they could scale their business, they could expand and all of that, they were sadly lacking. Why? Because they were flying off the seat of their pants. They did not have a plan, they did not have a written plan. And so I made a commitment at that time that when I retire, that is the population that I'm going to serve, to
That's
help them.
so good, Coach Jim. You said
And
so having a written plan. That's number
yeah,
5.
number 5, yes.
Okay, I
I
think I
know.
missed number 4, so I'm gonna put number 5. But what was number 4?
Number 4 was a skill, knowledge, education, training. Mm,
Oh, okay.
what you're
Somebody
going to
type that. What is it? Skill
doing something that is within your skill set.
doing
Where you have your
something.
experience, where you have your training.
Okay, I'm over. If you see me looking to the side here, it's because I'm typing. I'm actually taking notes, you guys. Okay.
Oh,
So
absolutely, yes.
doing something in your skill set. I think this is so wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Before you go to number 6, let me see this. Kimberly Fallis had a comment. And let me get my glasses. Maybe that's why I'm having such a challenge over here. Let's see. That's good. We are all CEOs of our own lives. We control our destiny. The commitment plays a major role in our success, is what she's saying.
I love it.
Okay, great comment, Kimberly. Keep your comments coming in. Let's see. So number 4, in case you were like me and missed it, let me go back. Yes, number 4 is do something. Oh, thank you, Mackenzie. Do something in your skill set. And then number 5 is have a written plan. Have a written plan so that you're not struggling and rushing at the last moment or modifying. Please let's not modify.
There's a reason for that. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, "Palest ink is better than the strongest memory." So write it down.
Yeah.
But
Anything
in
I
the
don't write down, I forget. Period.
exactly, and there's also another dimension to that. When you write it down, it gives you clarity. You have to stop and think about what you are. Think of the various parts so you can put it all together, and that's a process that is designed to give you the clarity that you need. And it, the basic format of a business plan can be anywhere from 5 to 9 different segments,
That's right.
areas. And what I did was to create a seminar out of that for them. And it was called Business Plan Made Easy. And I started teaching them how to write their business plan.
That's
And
great.
uh, that is something that is always necessary. Now, there are two kinds of plan that you can have. A simple one-page business plan that covers maybe 4 elements, such as a little bit of background in you, what it is that you do, and the market, who you serve, and the product, what it does, and a little bit about that. Those 4 points in a one-page business plan provides the most fundamental yet simple uh, per, plan that you can create or devise.
That's
Now,
good.
if your business is a little bit more sophisticated than that, then you could go to the traditional business plan, which covers more areas, does a deeper dive into the various elements of your market, your sales, your operations, your processes. Basically, it's a guide to tell you. It's a manual. It's a manual for your business,
Right.
just
I
like how
love
you
it.
have a manual for your automobile when you get it.
That's good. I love this. So you have the basic one and then you have the traditional
Yes,
one and
yes.
you can help people with regardless of what area
Regard, yes.
they want to start in. This
Yeah,
is so good,
absolutely.
Coach Jim. Okay, I'm actually going to put your contact information. I put it in the email just right now in the comments section how you can stay connected with Coach Jim, but I want to also I want to put it here too. Yeah. This is some good stuff that you're saying and I think that people really do need to stay connected with you. And so let me put that up from this comment section here. Pop that up, Mackenzie, if you would for me so I can. Did I just put that in there? I may not have put it in there. Actually, you know what? She can't pop it. I put it back in the private chat. Hold on. I'm going to pop it over here in the comment section for everybody
Okay.
because I want people to stay connected with you.
And at the end of this, I'm gonna give away a free bonus, and
Okay.
also a way that anyone who wants to can get more.
That's some great information. All of his contact information is right there in the comment section, everyone. And he's in the Better
Yeah.
Business Bureau as well. He has a business training coach at Better Business Solutions, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia. His phone number is 404-932-8043. Email is coach@businesstrainingcoach.com. And website is Jim A as in Apple Foster.com. I have a lot of podcasts listeners too on iHeartRadio and SoundCloud and iTunes. So I have to verbally say it too.
Okay.
So that's jimafoster.com. So you can go and learn more from his website or call him at 404-932-8043. All right. So you
And
said,
Kim,
what's the sixth
I,
point?
I'm old fashioned. I still answer my telephone.
You do answer? Yes. Okay. So he will answer the phone. Make sure you call him directly and you will get Coach Jim right there on the line. What's point number 6?
Number six. And I'll lead into this with the example of Bill Gates being on the Larry King show one night back in the 80s. And Larry asked Bill, so Bill, tell us, what is the secret to your success? To what do you attribute your success? Action, Larry, action. I took massive and immediate action. You see, there were thousands of other people that saw the future of the computer industry just like he did at the time. But he got a head start by jumping off, not waiting around. What I've just shared, those six common threads, are what I call the mental aspects of starting a business. It's the mindset training, it's the things that you have to do in your mind
Yes.
before you step out. Now, when you have done your homework, when you've done all of that with your research and everything, then it's time for action. And there are another set of activities that you have to engage in and on the action side of it. And I cover those in my upcoming um, free training workshop, my business intensive. It's a 2 hour business training intensive where
And
we cover those four pillars that are the action part of starting and building your business. And when you apply them, you don't have to wait for months or years to get your business started. You have a hands on opportunity to get things in place right then and there so you can go turn the key and
that's
get
so
things started.
good. How can people register for your upcoming intensive training to be able to take more action in their business endeavor?
Okay, that's a great opportunity to use. Go to let me give you the URL. It is train with Jim. Let me type that in, see if I can
And that's Train with Jim.
HTTPS, HTTPS colon train, TRAINWITHJIM dot GR8.com.
Train WITH with Jim.
Dot period GR8.com.
Let me see it one more time. Train with Jim.
There, I just popped it in the comment.
Oh, you got it in a private chat. Okay. Let me see. Oh, here. Oh, okay. .GRE. You were saying it, but I just could not.
Yeah.
You're like, lady, I'm saying it. I'm telling you. And I said what it is. All right, here we go. So let's pop this up on the comments right here. Train with Jim.gr, the number 8.com. Train with Jim.gr, the number 8.com, which is train with Jim.great.com is what it is. But I want you all to go and register for this upcoming intensive training. Make sure you take a moment to do that right away. So that when is the training
It's
taking
on
place?
Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, and all of the information that you need to register and be in your virtual seats is at trainwithjim.gr, the number 8.com. And please let them know the Kim Jacobs Show referred you over to him. And what are they going to learn in this training, Coach Jim?
You will learn my four pillar transformational equation. What is
Four-pillar transformational equation.
yes. Um, Robert Kiyosaki has the four quadrants.
Yes.
Well, I took a leaf out of his book and formulated my business building framework
That's
under the four areas, the four quadrants, the four areas, the four pillars that you have to put together. And it begins with, first of all, your product, identifying your product, knowing what your product or service is. Number two, it's the people, identifying the people that you need to have on your team, the people that you'll be interacting with, your suppliers, your fulfillers, and even yourself, making that assessment to ensure that you are right for business and business is right for you.
This is good.
Hello?
Yes, actually, Kimberly Fowler said that is awesome. She said, I am going to be there in your training. And so
Absolutely.
you're going to have a great time, Kimberly, and definitely invite other friends and family and coworkers and entrepreneurs to come out. And if you plan to attend, make sure you type, I also will be there. I'll be there, Coach Jim. I'll be there on
I
Saturday.
look forward to seeing you, and you will not regret it.
I can tell you won't regret it. I can tell just from this free 1 hour session that we've had together that if this is the knowledge he's dropping here on the Kim Jacobs Show, can you imagine what you're going to get in an intensive boot camp? It's going to be incredible.
2 hours of it.
2 hours. Trainwithjim.gr, the number 8.com. And so, Coach Jim, I want to make sure that, I pull these pictures up. I saw some pictures. What are these pictures? Tell me these right quick.
Oh, who's that guy, huh?
Yeah, who is that lovely lady?
Yeah, that's my wife of 32 years.
Hi, wife of 32 years. You're so beautiful. What's her name?
Madge.
Hi, Madge. And I remember, talking to you about Madge recently. So
Yes.
I remember her. I already know her name, but I just was saying it for the rest of the public. But anyway,
she's bouncing back.
Yay.
Or has bounced back.
I'm so grateful to hear that. And definitely been praying for you, Madge. Okay. And then I see another picture back here. Tell us about this.
Oh, that's my son. And that's our pastime. On the lake, kayaking.
Oh, nice.
I get to go out on Stone Mountain Lake Stone Mountain, and it's a huge 2,000 square acre lake. But there's nothing like being on the lake in the kayak. I mean, it's like you're connecting with nature. You just have to experience it.
Oh yeah, no, I have a son that's adventurous, and he is an avid fisher and loves fishing. And that's Jeremiah. And you all definitely check out Jeremiah's website, which is jeremiahjjacobs.com. He's one of our episode sponsors as well, and he helps people build websites from scratch. So make sure you all check him out. I'm trying to pull his information up. And I have another son that sponsored today's episode too. I didn't show their commercials, but his is majorpt.com, and he's lost over 100 pounds. And this was him before, and this is him now.
Oh, wow.
And he did it strictly, no surgery or anything, and has new clients that he's been taking on. And he's a student at UNC Charlotte and National Association of Sports Medicine certified. But my one son, Coach, loves going out on the water. Jeremiah, that's him.
Yeah.
And he has the blackfisherman.com site as well.
So what month was he born?
Jeremiah is April.
April.
And my other son is in December.
So he's probably under the water side there, because that sign is connected with water.
Oh, is it? Okay, I know nothing about that. All I know is it's April.
So I love that sort of stuff.
That's fun because and that's right down his alley. He is in his world, in his element, blowing up
Yes.
his boat, putting the motor on there, and going on down Lake Norman and all the Stone Mountains, all them places. Anywhere he can find a body of water, he's there.
Yes.
Well, tell us a closing comment that you want everyone to know.
Most of the people that I work with, when I look at it and see they're in business, and I ask the question, why do you want to go in business?
Right.
And what I discovered is that it's not that they want a business. It's not that they want to go into a business.
That's right.
What they want is freedom, independence, financial wellness. They want to be able to walk into a restaurant and order anything from the menu without looking at the right side of the menu.
Right.
Or going on an extended vacation and know that they're still making money. They're financially well.
Right.
Or they can buy the house where they want, anywhere they want. They can drive the car that they love. Those are the reasons. And those are things that most people cannot do on a job. So they have to have their own business. The business is a fuel that drives the lifestyle of their dream.
That's
So
good.
building that business it correctly so that it can be successful and profitable means knowing anyone going in business should know there are things that they should know, steps that they should take
That's
in
good.
order to do the things that they should do to build a successful and profitable business. And that's what we help people to do.
I love that. You also said you were giving a free ebook today. How do people access that?
Um, I think that let's see. Yeah, it's called the nuts and bolts of starting a business. Um, I tell you what, I seem to have forgotten how to put that link there. So
Oh, you know what?
if
I
you,
know that I have the PDF that you had sent over. Is that what it is? The nuts and bolts?
yeah, yes, the nuts and bolts.
But I want them to reach out to you to get it versus having to, because that way you all can connect and it won't be just that they came.
I tell you what, because for anyone that wants to get a copy of that nuts and bolts, I'm going to do something very special for you, Kim. And it is this: I'm going to also give them a complimentary consultation session.
Ooh, you guys, that's huge. That's
Um,
like, that is huge. Okay, so you get not only do you get an ebook, but you also get a free consultative service that you get the consultation directly with Coach Jim, the coach business doctor business or business doctor, BD, business doctor, and you get that session with him for free. How do they go about reaching you? Through the contact information you've provided?
I've just put it in the private chat.
Okay, let me go over here. This is
It's a
awesome.
bit.ly link, bit.ly that book with Jim.
Okay. So anyone that's watching this episode, whether you're watching it at the time that it aired or if you're watching it on the replay, make sure you go copy and paste this into the browser. Yes, Kimberly, it is a blessing. I see Kimberly saying, "What a blessing. I learned so much today. Thank you." Yes, a lot of people, any of you that tuned in, I know I'm the host and I learned. So I'm so grateful that you all tuned in today. Let's see. Here is the link in case you don't see the comments when you watch the replay. And it is a bit.ly link. Make sure that you go to bit.ly. You know how to do the bit.ly link / book with Jim. If you're a podcast listener, it's book with Jim. It's the bit.ly link, https dot the colon / bit.ly / book with Jim. So the bit.ly link, book with Jim, if you're interested in getting a free consultation, and he will get you a copy of his free ebook, which is teaching you the nuts and bolts of everything that he's talking about here. Starting your own business. Okay. Wow.
And and Kim, I'm on WhatsApp too. So that telephone number works on WhatsApp. So I can be reached from anywhere. Like I
Okay,
said,
so all of you that are watching with CTR Media Network in the 100 countries, 350 million households, then know that I'm going to put this information back up. And this phone number is the United States extension. Let me see if I can go back to where that is. Here it is. I want you to get this information, which would be +1 for WhatsApp. Yeah, +1 is the United States. And so it's 404-932 8043. And you can stay connected with Jim A. Foster on WhatsApp. You can stay connected with him by going to his website, jimafoster.com. And if you want to email him, it's coach@businesstrainingcoach.com. Wow. I hate for this to end, Coach, because this was great. You have to come back.
it will be my pleasure anytime.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk backstage, but thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. And it's because of you all that we're able to bring balance to the world one household at a time. So thank you for watching today. Thank you, Coach Jim, for being our guest. And I also wanted to tell everybody one more thing. If you are in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, we have a conference. It's a summit that's happening in the Charlotte area at the Charlotte Museum of History on Thursday. Now, if you're watching the replay, you may be like, when is this? Okay, so this particular date is going to be Thursday, June 22nd. Again, today is Juneteenth. So if you're watching the replay, that's, it may not be Juneteenth when you're watching it, but June 22nd. And it is going to be phenomenal with Sandra Yancey is our founder of eWomen Network, and she's going to be gracing us with her presence. She's a former CNN hero, or once you're a CNN hero, you're always one. And she's going to be sharing some knowledge to help us disrupt our thought process in business. And so if you are in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, I want you to definitely visit. Where's this link that I put up here? I hope I put right here. Yeah, here we go. You can go right here and just copy and paste it into your browser. It's the 14th Annual Women's Summit in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's how you'll register, ewomennetwork.com/event/14th-annual-women Success Summit with Sandra Yancey. The date is 6/22/2023. And you can go ahead and register. We'll see you there if you're a business entrepreneur and would like to connect with some other power connections. Okay. All right. Coach Jim, you know how you get ready to get off a show and you're like, I had one more thought and I forgot to say that. What was that last thought?
So, okay, it was to, wait a minute, I forgot now.
You probably thought of it, and then whenever you're like, dang, I forgot it that quick. All right.
That's what happens sometimes. Yeah, but it is simply this. It is simply this. Oh my goodness, it came to me and then it went again. It's in a circle.
Well, here's what I can tell you, that you can definitely stay connected with Coach Jim while you're thinking of your thought if you want, but stay connected with him and definitely attend that workshop and you will not regret it. I can tell you that. It's going to be 2 hours of intensive training, and I am going to put his contact information one more time over here at the top of the comments so you'll have it when you first click on. All right. Coach Jim, you have been nothing short of amazing sharing these tips with us. And if you have any additional thoughts.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's my pleasure being here. I had a ball, and I hope everyone else did.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you backstage, Coach, and I'll see you all again tomorrow right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We're talking about the resilient heart tomorrow, the resilient, brave heart. And we have Gerald Reynolds who will be on as our guest. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time.